sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pile up calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride.
Welcome in, race fans, to the first round of the playoffs for the Ratfink Racing League Next Gen Cup Series, where right now we are currently in qualifying as these drivers are going to be finishing up their qualifying runs. We're going to begin going into the race details here tonight, but right now Brandon Hinton sits atop the qualifying board. We're going to be live from Las Vegas. As you can see right there's the details on the screen. You can see there is a 78 degree weather outside, 45% humidity, partly cloudy skies. Right now the track temperature shows to be somewhat of a cooler 93 degrees. However, I think here at Las Vegas that will allow these drivers to be able to slip and slide a little bit, maybe get a little bit of tire wear and produce a solid race. It's the same voice from before. We're just on a different network. I'm going to be your host tonight, Brandon Massey. I'm going to be alone up here in the booth. We're going to be live from here on out with the Next Gen Cup Series here at the Ratfink Racing League on Thursday nights, right here on the American Speed Network, owned and operated, I believe, by John Ross and company. I've got to know John really well in some other leagues, and offered me an opportunity to go to work at American Speed, and so here we are. And I wanted to bring this league to American Speed Network. I'm super excited about tonight, though, because it's been a long time since we've been able to call a Ratfink Racing League race, especially here in the Next Gen Cup Series. But what's really, really cool is I've been able to be behind the wheel of one of these race cars with these drivers. A couple weeks ago, I had a pretty decent run. I was able to finish inside the top three, and then last week before last, not so well. Nashville did not go well for me, as I absolutely hate this car. So I would much rather be in the booth calling the action. It's just a lot funner that way. So here we are. Let's get into our starting lineup for tonight, though, as we'll pull up the grid. Let me back this all the way up. Well, thought I was gonna back it up. Yep, there it is. All right, starting on pole, it's going to be the driver, the number 5, going to be Brandon Hinton. Starting outside him, driving the 06, somewhat of a newcomer to the league, although has been somewhat dominant, has a couple wins. It's going to be Ryan Philbrick. Starting inside row number 2 is going to be the driver, the number 73. It's going to be Jonathan Crosby. Starting fourth is going to be the driver, driving the number 68. Sorry, driving the number 94 is going to be Cole Morton. Starting fifth, going to be the driver, driving the number green 68 right there. You can see it. League owner, one of the league owners here is going to be Tom Ringer. Starting outside him is going to be driving the 09 is going to be Jonathan McIntosh. Starting in the 7th position is going to be the 69 of Todd Parra. Starting 8th, driving the number 4 Sim Magic Chevrolet Camaro is going to be Chuck Burley. Starting 9th is going to be the number 7 newcomer, Chris Wagner. Starting 10th is going to be number 28 of Ethan Farless. Starting 11th is going to be driver of the number 3 is going to be Sean Dion. And not taking a lap time tonight is David Esky, but starting 12th at the rear of the field, not laying down a lap time, is going to be Jordan Trass. Sorry, Trass, rather. It's been a long time, Jordan. I apologize. So I'm not sure just what happened. I'm not sure what happened, race fans. Let me close this out. Let me reopen this. I'm not 100% sure what happened. Huh. This is interesting. Let me take a look at this and see if I can figure it out, and I will be right back with you live from all the action here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat, 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4, smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride, made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride, made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight out of chaos into light, no first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride.
Okay, we're back. Apparently, I had an internet spike and it disconnected me from the iRacing service. So, we're back. 10 laps down. Ryan Philbrick out front. Brandon Hinton, after starting on the poles, fell back to second. Jonathan Crosby third. Tom Ringer fourth. Chuck Morton fifth. Chuck Burley sixth. Todd Carras seventh. Jonathan McIntosh eighth. Jordan Trask ninth. Chris Wagner 10th. Sean Dion 11th. Ethan Farless 12th. So we're going to get through these drivers. We do have 115 laps here tonight. Right now, we're 10 laps down. As you can see right now, the lead is by about 0.4 of a second, give or take, by race leader Ryan Philbrick in that 0.6. Not much distance he's been able to put between himself and Hinton. Hinton has since moved to the top of the racetrack. Some good battles going on right here, though. You got Crosby, Ringer, Morton all battling for position right here. Burley's in that mix. You can see these 4, 5, 6 cars right here together. Got a little bit of a run on the backside of the 94. Cole Morton was not able to generate anything with it. You see Todd right there in the 69. McIntosh just right behind him. Jonathan Crosby in a 73. Ringer just directly behind him. All these guys are pretty much just single file. You can see Ringer's actually going to move to about the middle part of the line. He's going to duck back in place. You got 5 cars just right here together. Just none of them able to generate anything. Cole's going to? No. In fact, he's not going to be able to. I thought Cole was going to be able to generate a little bit of a run right there on Ringer in the 68, just unable to do so. Todd looking on the backside of the 4 car. Peeking. He's not going to have position to be able to do anything with it. In fact, he's just going to tuck right back in line. Will Chuck Burley. So right now, these are the closest battles that we have on the racetrack. Jordan going with his lonesome back here with Chris Wagner. We've seen Jordan win a couple times this season. Might be just back here learning, seeing what he can do. We know he likes to save tires. But I tell you, ever since joining the series, Ryan Philbrick has been on a tear. Guy is bad fast. Brandon Hinton, good looking Citgo Ford Mustang dark horse right there. Does he have? Now we're starting to see some moves. Here comes Cole Morton. Cole Morton's going to be looking to make a move on Tom Ringer here. He's going to have his inside. They're going to be in a dead heat, though. Chuck's going to go with the 68. Todd moving towards the bottom. This might be a tough pass for Cole. Running the bottom here. Las Vegas should provide a couple of different racing grooves. As you can see, Tom's going to get that runoff exit right there. Beautifully done. He's just going to fall right back into place. Chuck has since moved to the top. following himself around Tom right there. It's going to open the door for Todd, though. Todd's going to actually... might... He's going to be even with him. I don't know if he's going to be able to have enough off of the exit to be able to make the pass. He's just not. That outside line, at least right now, is going to be a better drive off for those drivers. That middle exit, you can actually make and produce pretty decent time right there. Hinton's starting to slowly close the gap on Ryan Philbrick up there. Leads down to about 6:10, so we'll keep an eye on that, see if Brandon Hinton's able to close the gap. Just as soon as I say that, it goes back out to about 7/10. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, the battle for positions are all going to be right here amongst these three cars. This is going to be the battle for fourth. One thing about this car, at least for the iRacing service, this car is super tight everywhere on the racetracks. One of the things I did not like about the car, but I have recently found out I'm going to have to learn to like it, because the one cup car that I absolutely loved was the car that they ran before this one. And in fact, they're stopping to make setups for it, and it's no longer going to be probably around much longer. It's probably just going to be a legacy car at some point, if it's not already. Cole Morton has cleared Tom Ringer. So has Chuck Burley. Tom actually falling back. He's going to fall back to behind teammate Todd Perra right there. So move Cole Morton up to fourth. He'll slide into the fourth position. You can see just out his windshield now will be the 73 of Jonathan Crosby. So he's going to want to try to get there. Looking at lap times right now, but Morton pretty even on lap times with race leader right now. So is Hinton. Hinton was pretty close in terms of lap times, about a half a tenth difference between those two. Crosby went to the very tip top almost right there. He's got about a half second or so over top of Cole Morton right now. So not a bad time to search a little bit to see if you can't maybe make up some ground. Trying to find something different on the racetrack. Maybe a little bit more comfortable for the race car. It's going to move around just a little bit. See what you can find. See what you can generate run wise. See the race leader right here. We'll keep an eye on him. Let's see where he runs. Inner, middle, high, rotates not all the way to the bottom, but just enough. Enough for us to say at least he's going to be running the lower side of the racetrack. Yeah, you can see he wraps the white line right there. Cole Morton has caught up to the back end of the 73 of Jonathan Crosby, though. This will be the next closest battle that we have. I like what Cole did there. I don't like going down under the apron like that. It's a weird transition. I feel like it's really abrasive on the tires. Cole does a really good job at rotating the bottom right there, painting that white line through 3 and 4. Actually allows him to close in a little bit. Chuck had a pretty decent run off of exit there too. You can see he dipped down onto the apron. So Chuck's entry is not much different than race leader Ryan Philbrick. You can see that right there. A little bit tight off exit. Cole looking to the inside of Jonathan Crosby's going to try to take over the third position, and in fact will do so. He'll be able to clear up here. Just about had him clear. He is clear right there. He's not going to shut the door on him. Should be able to do it this time. Those bumps, you can see those bumps shot the 73 towards the wall. Had to get heavy onto the brakes. There is a set of bumps right there. If you hit them just in the wrong way, it'll throw your car towards the outside wall. Down in 1 and 2, there's some really awkward bumps up there. Let's see if maybe he finds them again this time. He's going to enter high here. Uh-oh, there's a red. There went Todd. Todd was completely sideways right there. He saved it though. I don't know who helped him. Maybe the 79. I'm not 100% sure. There's a little bit of damage to the back bumper of that race car for Todd Parra. But what a beautiful save to not wreck the car completely. I'm just not 100% sure who or why Todd ended up into that position, but so Cole's been able to get around Crosby. Burley's been able to get around Crosby. So Crosby's kind of heading the wrong direction right now. One of the biggest movers we have, in fact, is the 79 of Jordan Trask. The biggest mover. You can see he's closed up to the back bumper of the 73. That will be battle for position when they get there. Yeah, that 73 just seems tight on exit. 30 laps in, the tires are wearing down if they've not already worn. It's going to allow Jordan to be able to clear with the ease, and in fact he will. So he'll now take over the 5th position, so move him up another spot. That's 7 on the day so far, 31 laps in. The Hinton's actually been able to match lap times with race leader. That race lead has stayed steady somewhere around 7/8 tenths as they run. So doing a nice job just kind of managing the gap a little bit. In fact, that last time by, race leader Ryan Philbrick ran a 30.89 to Hinton's 30.86, so about 0.03 of a second difference. Looks like that Philbrick is able to make up most of his time through 1 and 2. Looks like he's faster in 1 and 2. Hinton maybe faster in 3 and 4. I say that, and Hinton lost a little bit of time through 3 and 4, but he's actually starting to make it back up. So about a 10th difference in last lap time. So Jordan's on the move, though. You can see there he comes. About 4 seconds behind race leader Ryan Philbrick is Jordan Trask. Move him up inside the top 5, now to 4th. So he'll take over the 4th position. So race fans, if you are watching at home, you can type in the chat. I do have the chat pulled up. I see River Rat Racing RC says go get him, Cole. So we know we have some Cole Morton fans in here. In fact, right now he's running 3rd. So hop in the chat. I'll be reading chat on and off throughout these races. So hop in there. Let me know who you're pulling for. You can see right there goes Cole. When I look at lap times, though, right now, Jordan Trask is one of the quickest cars on the racetrack by about a 10th. But race leaders, Philbrick, Hinton, and Morton all matching lap times right now. In fact, Philbrick and Hinton ran 30.98 consecutively. Both drivers. Cole was a little bit faster to 30.93 than Jordan Trask was like I think it was like 30.80s. He was about a 10th quicker. So everybody matching lap times right now, just managing gaps. I would suspect that we're going to see pit road entry or green flag stops and one driver just came off pit road. That's Farless. But pit windows should be opening, I would say, within the next 4 or 5 laps for these drivers. In fact, right now, here comes race. Uh-oh, it's a little hot. I'll keep an eye out, see if he's able to slow it down. So here comes the top 3. So you got You got Philbrick on, you got Hinton in, Morton's in, Todd Perez in, McIntosh is all coming in. So all these guys have now entered pit road. So just as I say that the pit window is opening, in fact, there it is. So the pit window is open for all these drivers. You can see them right there. That's going to turn the lead over to race leader Jordan Trask. Now, my thing is how much longer does he want to run in comparison to the rest of these guys? And how much track time or how much track position are you willing to give up? Those fresher tires, when I look at it, in fact, there's not much fall off. The leader's best lap was a 29.63, and he was running 30.9s. So about a second, almost a second and a half fall off in tires. But it's not been that much of a fall off for race leader Jordan Trask right now. We know he likes to save tires, and he does he might be shutting off the race car. It sounded like to me he was shutting off the race car. He might be fuel mileage. He is. So race leader Jordan Trask is in a fuel mileage situation right now. So he's going to try to run as long as he possibly can. And he is shutting that race car off way early. Right now, I just don't see a benefit to it because he's not going to be able to make it on one more stop. There's just no way. So there he comes. He hit his target mark of lap 40. So he's going to pit, would be on lap 41 once he hits the start finish line. That'll put him at 82 if he's able to do that again when he pits the next time. We have another Cole Morton fan up in the chat. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. He must know something I do not. So once these leaders get back around here to the start finish line, or at least the front stretch area, Ryan Philbrick, Hinton, Morton will remain 1, 2, 3. You can see Jordan's on pit road. He's rolling off pit road right now. There goes Ryan Philbrick. I'm just not sure about that strategy, though. We'll see if it works out for him as the race progresses. Cole's doing a decent job. He's actually reeled in Brandon Hinton. When I look at pit road times, Cole was actually faster than the two cars in front of him on pit road. He was in his pit box 14.58 seconds. So it's over a second quicker than race leader Ryan Philbrick, and nearly 7/10 quicker than Brandon Hinton. Is able to put himself within about 6/10 of Brandon Hinton here. Has Cole Morton because of that. So we'll see if Cole's actually able to close in onto the back bumper of Brandon Hinton. Make a battle for second. Chuck Burley running right here, currently in the 4th position. Todd Perez, 5th. There comes Jordan. So Jordan actually cycled out in the 6th position, just behind Todd Perez. What is some 8 seconds back. Now, when he started that cycle, he actually didn't lose much time because I think he was about 7.5 to 8 seconds back anyhow behind race leader. Once he got inside the top 5, it might have been a little bit less than that, but all in all, he was actually able to run almost 5 laps longer. Call it 4 laps just to be safe, longer than everybody else. So that'll give him 4 lap pressure tires than the rest of the field. And right now, when I look at last lap speeds, he's about a half a second quicker than all the cars in front of him. The leaders are running 30.3s, all of them. Jordan Trask is still in the 29.8 area, so he's about a half second quicker is Jordan Trask. So we'll monitor that. He's now down under 8 seconds. So we'll see what he's able to do and how much ground he's able to make up. Let's go a little bit deeper into the field. Now we know Todd was completely dead sideways at one point in time on the racetrack. He's going to have some work to make up, but currently riding in the 6th position. Tom Ringer right there in 7th. Chris Wagner 8th. Jonathan Crosby in the 73. Ran inside the top 5 for the first portion of this race. Now he's found himself outside the top 5 looking in now. Riding in the 9th position. Jonathan McIntosh. John Dion. The only drivers we currently have on the racetrack. So 47 laps down. No change out front. Pole still about a half or so second off of the back bumper of Brandon Hinton. Jordan Trask has caught to the back bumper of Chuck Burley. Chuck's been finding some speed as of late. He ran third. He ran third last night in the Gen 6 series that we have here at Ratfink Racing League. He's been finding speed of late. Been consistently running around the top 5. Has Chuck Burley in that 4 machine. We have all kinds of different leagues to race in here. Ratfink Racing League. So if you're looking for a league, send one of us a message. Let us know. We'll get you set up. We run Xfinity Monday night, trucks Tuesday night, Gen 6 cars on Wednesday night, next gen on Thursday. Had a really good turnout for the truck series Tuesday night. Had a really decent turnout last night for the Gen 6 series. Our first race of the season kicked off at Nashville last night. Jordan's still trying to make up time. No change out front. We're starting to lose a little bit of track position to the 5 of Hinton. Still about 7-10, so he's lost a couple of tenths. He was within about a half second just a few laps ago. So these drivers come down pit road lap 36. That means here in about 21, 22 laps, pit road will open again for these drivers, or at least their pit windows. That'll put us at about lap 71, 72 area. That means they may have to 3-stop this race. Jordan Trask may be onto something, race fans, because if he can go 40-40, that gets him what would be at 80, 30. That's 45 laps. I don't know. I just don't see that being the case. I don't think he can save that much fuel. He's definitely not saving right now. So that might be difficult. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that shakes out. Inside the lap with race leader Ryan Philbrick. We're going to stay on board for a complete lap and a half here. As you can see, he's now entering turns 3 and 4. We'll see how he's just managing getting around this racetrack. On board the 5 of Brandon Hinton. The one thing I don't hear is I don't hear drivers shifting. On board the 94 of Cole Morton. on board the 79 Jordan Trask. You can see there goes Hinton and Morton right up in front of him there. And he's back to shutting the car off. So he's in fuel saving mode, and it's hard to tell how long he's been doing this, but he's going to have to save 5 or 6 laps to get this to work out. That's inside the lap with our top 4 drivers. Something fun that we like to do here at American Speed Network. Show the different techniques and lines that these drivers run. A little bit of a smaller car, field tonight. Crosby has since made the exit. So that's going to leave us 10 running race cars on the racetrack. Here in about 5 or so-ish laps. Actually, we are past halfway, so we're past halfway now. Tom, Wagner. This is actually the closest battle we have on the racetrack right now, is these 2 drivers here, McIntosh and Wagner. Wagner moved to the top. Should allow McIntosh to close up the gap quite a bit. Just not carrying no speed off the corners. Just not enough exit speed. That tells me the car is really, really tight. Could be a lot of input into the wheel that creates that tightness. Just scrubs so much speed on exit. You really got to start to back up the corners. Allow that car time to rotate, especially if your tires are worn. Now we know most of these drivers are closing in on another 30 laps on this set of tires, so there's Tom. Todd's starting to make up some ground. He's starting to close in on the back bumper of the 4 car of Chuck Burley. So right now, as it runs, one of the faster cars on the racetrack we got 3 that's matching 30.8 right now. It's race leader Ryan Philbrick, Cole Morton, and Chuck Burley. They're all in the 30.8s. You got Hinton and Trask that's in 30.9s, but I can tell you Trask is saving fuel for sure, and he's done it the entire run. So he's going to have to get to a lap, say, I think to be comfortable, he's going to want to be at about lap 80, like 85, 86. So he's going to try to stretch it 20 more laps. That would get him just about to the finish. That would be 40 laps to the finish with 80, 85, 86 area. So Paul Morton was the fastest car that last lap. These 3 guys, Philbrick, Hinton, and Morton, at this point in the run with about 30 laps on a set of tires, just match lap times. These guys get a little bit better in terms of of speed as the race wears on in comparison to Philbrick. I'm going to say Cole's probably going to be a little bit slower this time. It looked like he got really tight off the exit of 4. In fact, he was. You see that car pushy tight just right on the exit of turn 4 for him. Take an already tight race car and it just gets tighter as the run builds on. It's just not fun to drive. Jordan's got back within 6 seconds of race leader Ryan Philbrick, and that's even saving fuel. So we'll see how much he's able to save as the run goes on. Chuck and Todd still about same distance apart. Todd's not really been able to make up any time. It's been about 7/10 between them two. Just shy of 9 to 10 seconds off race leader Ryan Philbrick. I just wonder how much dirty air really plays a factor with these cars, because Cole can run really good lap times and actually close the gap between him and Hinton, but it's like once he gets into that dirty air that comes off the back of that 5 car, it just kills and stalls the run. So I believe that the pit window is going to be opening within the next couple laps for most of these drivers. I'm going to say somewhere between 72, 74. We're going to see most of these drivers. Now, if they stay in tune with what they did last time, somewhere between laps 72, 74, we're going to see most of these drivers start to hit pit road. If that's the case, I don't foresee them being able to make it to the end whatsoever. If they was to pit in that area of 72 to 74, trying to do the math in my head. Yeah, if they pit at 74 and they run another 36 laps, that's going to put them about lap 110. They're going to be 5 to 6 laps short. So they're going to run this fuel tank out to the very end for sure. Even then, you're going to have to try to make up at least 2.5, maybe 3 laps during this run. If you can make that up and save a couple more over the next run, you could get to the end, but you're not going to want to hit pit road until somewhere about 78. I think if Jordan gets to 80, I think he can very comfortably make it to the end. He would be the one that I would say for sure could make it. So let's see how long these drivers run. In fact, so here it is. Right here comes race leader right now, Ryan Philbrick. So race leader on pit road. That tells me he's going to have to save to be able to get to the end, because if he runs another 36 laps like he just did the first 2 stints, it's going to only put him about lap 110. He's going to be about 5 or 6 laps shy. Morton has stayed out. Hinton has stayed out. Jordan's probably still saving fuel, shutting the car off. Yeah, that car wasn't running. So there comes Hinton. There comes Morton. Even though they went one more lap, I still think they're going to be 5 or 6 laps short. You got to account for the white flag lap, because you got to make that lap complete. So I really think these guys are really going to have to fuel save to make up those laps to be able to get to the end here. It could be now, if that's the case, and those guys are going to have to save fuel, that could really start to play out into the hands of this guy right here, Jordan Trask. Burley's on pit road. He come with Hinton and Morton. This might actually work out in favor of Jordan Trask because those drivers are not going to be able to make it to the end. There's just no way. The longest that we've seen them run is 37 laps. So those guys are going to have to save. Jordan will not. He'll be able to just run, especially if he gets to 80. If he gets to 80, 81, that'll be 35. It'll be about 35 to go. They can comfortably make it without saving fuel to 35, 36, 37 laps. So this might be the right call, race fans. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, the entire field is a lap down because Jordan has it pitted. So yeah, you right there. So I called it, right? I talked about it. Ryan Philbrick is shutting the car off and saving fuel. Let's see if I can get on board. He shut the car off in 3 and 4. Yeah, they're right there. Right there, the car's shut off. So that tells me they're going to have to save fuel through this run. Jordan's already been doing it. I wonder if Hinton, let's go on board Hinton. We'll go on board Hinton and Morton and see if they're clutching and saving fuel. So in fact, Hinton isn't. Not exactly sure what happened to Cole, but he actually lost quite a bit of track position. He has found himself back in 7th, who was directly behind Hinton when they hit pit road. Tells me he was on pit road 58 seconds total. That's the enter to exit. He may have slid his pit box and missed it. Now Jordan's on pit road at lap 79. So that's going to be 35, 36 laps to get to the finish. I don't think he's going to have to save all that much, if anything. I think he can get the full 36 out of it. Now, it was about a 6-second lead to Philbrick when he come off pit road, or before Philbrick hit pit road, and he's only actually going to be about 5.5 seconds behind. So, and we know Philbrick's saving. Hinton's actually closing the gap pretty good. I just don't think Hinton can make it. As you can hear Philbrick right there, he shut the car off again. The lead now under 5 seconds for Jordan Trask. I really think this is Jordan's race to lose at this point. I don't want to call it too soon. A caution could change everything, but I really think Jordan's still saving. I don't know how much more he's going to have to save, though. I mean, this would be a 35, 36 lap jaunt to the finish. He doesn't have to save all that much, but while saving, he's still faster than race leader Ryan Philbrick. Hinton's going to be within 2 seconds once they hit turn 1 here. Is there a race fan that's in the chat that can tell me what happened maybe to Cole Morton? By chance. I want to say he slid his pit box. He was on pit road quite a bit of time. Currently 16 seconds behind race leader Ryan Philbrick is Cole Morton, riding in the 6th position. So Tom Ringer on pit road. Not sure. He's been down there quite a while. Down there well over a minute. Not 100% sure why he's down there. Because right there, you can see there comes Brandon Hinton. There comes Jordan Trask. Jordan has now closed the gap within 3 seconds. Hinton's into about a second and a 3/4, give or take. I want to go on board. I want to see if Ryan's still saving fuel. Yes. So Ryan Philbrick's still saving fuel. Go on board Hinton and see if Brandon is saving anything. I don't think Brandon is. Yeah, I mean, he's not clutching the car. He's not saving anything. Let's see if Jordan's still... Let's see if he's able to save. Let's see if he still is, because that lead is shrinking very rapidly. So he, in fact, is. So he wants to get a couple of extra laps saved. Very quick shut off. And just as quick as that shut off happens, he's actually able to save quite a bit of fuel. So you do that multiple times, you can save quite a bit of fuel there. I think Hinton, though, I'm certain Hinton's going to need a caution. I just don't see any other way around this for Brandon Hinton. I think he's going to fall short. And with 10 drivers just on the racetrack, I don't know that we're going to get a caution. You can see Jordan's got to the back bumper of the 5 right here. Jordan's going to get around Brandon Hinton, and now that race lead is going to be down to less than a second, total about 3/4 of a second. Now, I think these two are teammates, is McIntosh and is Philbrick. But I just don't know. I don't think I'd want the 09 drafting off of me. And while be it, you would think it might make him faster, but he's not really been able to get close enough to him to really make it matter. It might be enough that it actually hurts Philbrick, especially with him saving fuel. And even if Philbrick is able to save, I don't think he's going to save what's going to be able to be needed to get to the finish. I just don't see it happening. I totally could be wrong, though, race fans. I've been wrong before. The more of these races that I cover, the more I start to figure out race fuel strategy. So now here's an interesting... So this actually works out. So this works out for Jordan Trask. Okay. So he saved the first 2 runs. He's now taken over the lead from Ryan Philbrick. He's been saving all night long. He's still saving and was able to run down race leader Ryan Philbrick at that time and take over the lead. We have what will be 25 to go right now at the line. So we've hit 25 to go at the line. So it's going to have to be a lot of saving for Philbrick and Hinton. So Cole come back down pit road at lap 82 after his pit cycle. Maybe he got a pit road speeding penalty? Some sort of a pass through? Race fans, I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened to the 94. I'm sure I'll find out in the Discord chat once the race is over. Again, if you're interested in coming over and running with the Rat Fink Racing League, get a hold of Tom Ringer, Chuck Burley, Todd Parra, or myself, Brandon Massey, and we'll get you set up. Come over and race. We race Xfinity on Monday nights, trucks Tuesday, Gen 6 Wednesday, Next Gen Thursday. 4 nights a week we have racing going on here. Todd has moved himself up into the 4th position after being completely sideways at one point in time in this race. He was last on pit road at lap 73. Again, I just don't think that these guys that pitted lap 73, 74 area, I just don't see them guys getting to the end. They're going to have to save a ton of fuel. As you can see, Jordan has put up about 1.5 seconds almost between him and Philbrick, who dominated this race. That's the one thing about Rat Fink when it comes to the races that we have here, is you got to always account for fuel strategy. You got to do your homework. Got to get out there, log some laps, put 70% of fuel in the race car, find out what percentage is in it. It's posted in the Discord and the schedule, and go run laps, figure out what you can get, and then put your strategy together. Move Cole up a spot, was able to get around Wagner, who's on pit road. So Chuck's clutching, shutting the car off. You can hear that. So every single one of these guys should be in fuel save mode. Todd Parra's not, though. Todd's coming to pit road. So some of these guys are going to try to 3-stop this. Now, with 18 to go, he's going to have 4 fresh tires, provided he's got the tires in the pits. And he's going to be substantially faster, but what's going to happen is Todd's going to lose a lap. Because I can tell you, Jordan is trying to make it to the end and probably will, more than likely, if my fuel math is correct. And then Philbrick is still saving. He's now drafting off the 09. Some 4 seconds, what will be 4 seconds behind. I suspect at some point we're going to see Hinton hit pit road too. I just don't think he's saving any fuel at all. Doesn't sound like to me he's saving fuel, so provided, I just don't see him getting to the end. Chuck, I know, is saving. Tom is a couple laps down. So with 15 to go, this is going to be an interesting shakeout to see how this race plays out. Right now, race leader Jordan Trask has put about almost 4.5 seconds between him and Ryan Philbrick, and then some 13 seconds back is Hinton. So Hinton could be saving fuel because he's running almost 32-second lap time. So yeah, he's probably saving. He's just not clutching or shutting the car off. Yeah, you can see he's not exiting wide. He's running about the middle of the race surface down the back stretch. So yeah, he slowed the car up. He's definitely in fuel save mode. Now I want to see, because Todd Parra is going to be able to run hard to the end here. So there you can see, there's Todd. Where's race leader Jordan? almost a full lap in front of him. So Todd's going to have to make up an entire, well, nope, Todd's right here on the backstretch. Jordan just entered turn 1. So yeah, almost a half track. So Todd's going to have to make up a half a track and start passing cars. And that's going to be hard to do with 13 laps to go. Fuel mileage races make it fun. When you're behind the steering wheel and you're racing the car, somewhat makes it fun. It definitely gives me something to talk about. But man, everybody just gets so spread out in these types of races. So Todd Perot's about a second quicker than the field. So they just went around Hinton, and Hinton's some 20 seconds behind. So Todd's I'm going to say probably 18 or so seconds behind race leader right now. That's to unlap himself. And he's going to have to pass cars that's saving fuel. So in fact, once Todd gets to Chuck Burley, and there comes Chuck right there. So he's got to get around McIntosh. Where's McIntosh? Right there. That's the backstretch. Todd just past the start finish line. So he's a half track behind all those guys. With 10 laps to go, I just don't know that he's going to be able to make all that time up. But in fact, Todd is a half second, 3/4 of a second quicker every lap. So he may be able to catch the 09. I don't know that he'll be able to catch Burley. Well, Chuck's not that far in front of the 09. Todd might be able to finish inside the top 5. 9 laps to go. See if Jordan's saving any more fuel. I doubt that he is. He shouldn't have to. In fact, he's not. He saved everything he's needed to get to the end. That's why you can see that 5.5 second, almost 5.5 second lead. You can see right there, he just climbs. So no more saving out of that car. And Ryan is still saving. So the last thing that Jordan wants to see is going to be a caution. He definitely isn't going to want to see that. And if this plays out and it stays caution free, barring any major disaster, it's going to be a heck of a call for race leader Jordan Trask to save through those first 2 cycles to make it to the end here. You can see that lead just growing. Everybody up to 3rd place right now is a lap down. So let's see. There comes Todd. Yeah, in fact, he's not made up any time, really. I mean, he's faster than the cars in front of him. He's just on the wrong side of things right now at the moment. Now with Hinton saving and Burley with 5 to go, he's actually starting to catch to the back bumper of Brandon Hinton. That would be for a podium spot. You can see right there's Hinton. So Hinton's way off pace. And there comes McIntosh. And there goes Burley. So Burley will take over the third spot, and here comes McIntosh. So the battle for third is actually heating up quite a bit. When was McIntosh last on pit road? Lap 75. So slide Jonathan McIntosh into third. 3 laps to go. The lead out to almost 10 seconds. 2 laps to go once the leader hits the line this time. And right there it is. The 2 laps to go here in the Ratfink Racing League Next Gen Series. Jordan just done an amazing job. Caught onto it early. Knew that he was going to have to save fuel. Saved all the fuel he needed to save through the early part of the night. He was able to run as hard as he wants from this point forward, as he's going to take the white flag. We are 1 lap to go here at the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Philbrick, McIntosh, Burley. So the battle is going to be for third. We'll call Jordan back, and then we'll get down to third. So Jordan will win here at Las Vegas. Philbrick might have been, he might have ran out of fuel right there. Burley may have come home third. That should be the checker for those guys. Yeah, right there. So Philbrick had just enough to get to the finish. But Jordan Trask, with an amazing strategy throughout the night, was able to pick up the win. The first round of the playoffs here. As you can see, right there's the results. Jordan Trask, Ryan Philbrick, Chuck Burley, Jonathan McIntosh, Brandon Hinton, Todd Parra, Cole Morton, Sean Dion, Tom Ringer, Chris Wagner, Jonathan Crosby, Ethan Farless, David Eske. So great job. We'll park it right there. Oh, and we'll just leave it live. Yep. All right, see if I can get these guys up here for an interview real quick. Let's see. Hey, Chuck, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do, Brandon.
Well, man, I tell you, we watched you throughout the portion of this race. You got inside the top 5, ran comfortably up inside the top 5 there for the biggest part, and then had to go to fuel save mode, but ultimately was able to actually pick up a couple positions, was able to get around Brandon Hinton, who ran second for a large portion of this race, and then there at the end get back around McIntosh to bring it home third in a podium finish. So take us through your night and how you was able to pull that off.
Yeah, so I thought I was going to top 5 car for sure, but then I started to do the math, and I was like, you know what? If I save, because I was hearing chatter around people not being able to make it, so I figured I'd go fuel save mode. It's not fun to do that, but it did get a top 3 out of it. And then when Jonathan got back past me, there was 3 to go, and I said I had literally 3 laps of fuel left, and then I just put it back to the floor, and it was able to drive back by him.
So now you've been one of the drivers locked in to the playoffs here, I believe, right? So with the playoffs starting, bringing home a third is actually going to be able to make, you should gain quite a few points on some of that positioning within the playoffs. So take us through your mindset with the playoffs in play as we head into next week and over the next couple weeks to determine a champion.
Basically, try to find some speed to keep up with Ryan. Ryan and Brandon. Brandon and Ryan are probably the class of the field, and then of course Tom's fast too. I'm not sure what happened to him tonight, but other than that, maybe I'll just take advantage of a mistake they make if I can't do it on speed, but just try to be consistent every week in and week out, and just see where we end up.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, you got to play the cards that's dealt to you, and if it means that someone has a bad night, you can capitalize on that. Albeit you don't necessarily want to see drivers have bad nights, but if they do, you can always capitalize on it. Solid third place run for you, though. It's good to actually finally get you up here and talk to you. I mentioned tonight how more consistently you've been able to show speed. And you're doing it across multiple different series. I've talked about all the different series we have here at Rat Fink, and last night you had a third last night, third again tonight. So putting some really good runs together.
Knocking on the door, my man. Knocking on the door. Just keep at it.
Well, listen, man, congratulations on that third place finish. I'm sure that there's probably some friends, family, maybe some sponsors you'd like to thank. So give everybody a shout out.
Just shout out to Rat Fink Racing. They're the ones that started this whole thing. So glad to work with those guys. And then if anybody needs a paint job, Rat Fink Paint Shop. Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, I appreciate you, Chuck, and I'll see you next week.
Peace out.
That's Chuck Burley right there. And like he said, he's been knocking on the door, and he will eventually find himself in victory lane. If you knock on it enough, you will find yourself there. Let's bring in our second place finisher. Ryan, this is Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Fuel strategy got you tonight. I watched Jordan and watched what he was doing throughout the portion, the first two cycles of the run earlier this evening, and then watched what you was doing, and you had the dominant car. Just fuel strategy didn't pan out for you. Take us through your run and that second place finish here tonight at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I did the math going into the race, and I knew it was like 10 laps. I didn't really think about it, so I threw saving right out the window right then, and then made that last stop, and I was like, I gotta save here because you definitely can make it, and making another stop's definitely not going to be the move. So I mean, if I would have saved earlier, maybe that would have helped. I'm not sure. He made pretty good pace saving. Math's never been my good subject. Like, I was sitting there, bees sweat running down my face doing calculus equations and stuff. So, but still happy with second.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've watched you, throughout the season, raced with you a couple of times, and I think I finished second to you once in one of these races a few weeks ago. And so, yeah, you're just bad fast. I think it's just the strategy part that is what got you. Otherwise, you're always there knocking on the door with a chance to win. And so, thoughts headed into next week. I haven't had a chance to review the playoffs to see where we are with the playoffs. I think you're a playoff driver, are you not?
Yeah. I made it by the skin of my teeth because I missed quite a few races at the beginning, and I'm unsure of what race we're at next week too, but
yeah, I can pull the schedule. I can let you know where we are next week. So we will be at Auto Club going into next week. We'll be logging 90 laps at Auto Club, and then Rockingham and Charlotte. So when you look at the schedule with Auto Club, Rockingham, and Charlotte to finish it out, what are you going to have to do to try to position yourself, to have a chance to win the championship?
Just consistent finishes, I think. I mean, I don't think you have to win. Just not making mistakes is going to be the biggest thing. So that's why I'm not mad at all about a second place. That's better than, wrecking and not finishing the race. I like those three tracks for sure. I think Charlotte would be the strongest one for me, but I still Rockingham, that'll be interesting. That's a fun track. Auto Club also. But yeah, just keeping consistent and finishing the races, top 5 finishes at least, I'd say.
So a solid second place finish tonight to start your campaign for a championship here in the playoffs. I'm sure that you have some maybe friends, family, or even sponsors you'd like to shout out. So give them a shout out, man.
Yeah, I got my teammates. McIntosh, actually, you got 4th tonight. He was pretty pumped about that. So shout out to him, Brandon Yates, Jesse Gordon, Clean Cut Painting, and that's about it. You guys for putting this on. Great league, and I like seeing it grow. I have fun racing with you guys. Thank you for broadcasting.
Yeah, no worries, man. We thank you for being here each and every Thursday night, and I'll see you next week when we head out West Auto Club.
All right, buddy. See you then.
Thank you. That was the second place finisher in Ryan Philbrick. And I tell you, he's been bad fast, and he's going to be one of the championship contenders that we're going to want to keep an eye on over the next 3 races, especially when we get to Auto Club, Rockingham, and Charlotte. And you heard he likes those 3 places. Jordan, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I've got a copy.
So we've done this a couple times. We've talked to each other a couple times, getting you up here in victory lane. You've won some races here at Ratfink. And tonight, man, you do it again, and you do it with an excellent strategy. And I caught onto it a little bit later in the first run. I noticed you were shutting the car off and coasting through the corners there somewhat. And ultimately, I kind of figured out, hey, he's going to be able to do this and get to the end and be able to run a lot stronger than the guys that hadn't saved. And so take us through the night, take us through the strategy that ultimately puts you in position to win this thing here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I came into the race without a ton of practice, and I haven't run this car since I last ran in this league. And so I really just started the run taking it easy. And I saw that we would be about 8 laps short total if we went full out the whole run, all 3 runs. And so I decided I'd just take it easy and start right off the bat by clutching into the corners instead of using any brake the whole race. So I never really used any brake, and just used the clutch to compensate for that. So I saved a little extra fuel just getting into the corners, and I was just able to save about 2 laps to 2.5 laps per run, just so I had that advantage going into the final run where I hardly had to save at all. And then I was able just to cruise on out while everyone else had to really, really save. And I was almost a second faster a lap at that point because they were quite short. But overall, it was a pretty smooth race. I do have to apologize to Todd. There was one time I was going into the corner behind him, and he checked up a lot earlier than I thought, and I was just so much in the mindset of fuel saving. I went to hit the brake, and I just fully hit the clutch, and that's not going to slow you down quick enough. But definitely gave him a scare, and he had a great save to not loop that thing around, but got to apologize to him for that.
Yeah, no worries. I actually just barely missed exactly what happened there, and I couldn't tell for sure whether it was you or I think there was I can't remember who was around. It might have been Crowd. I can't remember, but I did catch a glimpse of Todd being completely almost sideways there, and it was a beautiful save. But yeah, so next week we're going to be heading into Auto Club. Are you going to be racing next week?
I probably won't be able to. I'm usually busy on Thursdays, but some unforeseen circumstances prevented me from going to where I needed to go tonight. So I was on here for the race, and I just try to make them when I can, but I'm usually not home.
Yeah, it's always fun when we're able to get you out here, man, because you do such a really good job at, fuel strategy, saving tires, and you're fast on top of that. But yeah, so I'm certain you got friends, family, maybe some sponsors you'd like to thank, man. So take the time, give them a shout out.
Well, yeah, first of all, thanks for doing the broadcast. It's always fun to watch these back, and huge thanks to Tom, Chuck, Todd, and everyone at Ratfink who helps put on these races. It's a lot of fun to race in them, and it's always fun to race with those guys. And I don't really have any sponsors I really run other than the fact that Chuck made me the paint scheme that I do run. So thanks to him for making that paint scheme with the Ratfink Design Shop, and it's always fun to run those. Looks great.
All right, boss man. Well, we'll see you again when we get to see you again. Hopefully we get to see you before the end of the season. We got 3 more races left, but if not, man, we'll see you the next time that you're out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That is race winner Jordan Trask, and I tell you, he's just bad fast every time he logs into the sim and gets behind the steering wheel. Well, that's going to be it for me for tonight, where we will head out of Las Vegas. We're going to stay on the West Coast swing, where next week we will head into Auto Club, what will be for 90 laps there as the playoff push continues. And then after that, we're going to head to Rockingham and Charlotte, and that will end the season of the next gen cars, and then they'll get a season 2 fired up after that. Well, on behalf of Tom, Chuck, Todd, everyone here at Ratfink Racing, I want to say thank you guys, and we will see everybody next week when we roll into Auto Club.